Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Full Throttle Finance, a financial literacy podcast geared towards dissecting complex financial topics into fun, relatable discussions. I'm Felicia, and I'm your CEO at CleanBee Consulting, and with me is Allison, who is our senior bookkeeper. And together, we focus on revving up the financial foundations for athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders in business. Regardless if you're operating from an established program already, or if you're just getting started, we're here to help you make small shifts that drive better financial performance.
All right, today is our first episode. We're excited to introduce you to CleanBee Consulting and who we are and what we do here. We do plan on putting an episode out every single Friday, so please join us every single Friday for a new episode. So Felicia and I have actually known each other for 9 years. We previously worked together. We bonded because we have common interests. Like we love motorcycles, we love nature. Recently, we both have bonded on clean lifestyle living choices. So that's been really cool. I have actually been an accountant myself, or accounting/bookkeeper, for 8 years. I worked with startup companies, recently worked with a multi-million-dollar company. So I bring the growth mindset to the CleanBee Consulting team.
If you got a lot of transactions, Allison is there to take care of.
Right? Okay, so it's been really cool seeing Felicia grow the CleanBee Consulting business from the ground up. I've been like, you know how it is, the long distance relationships. I have been creeping her on Instagram. So, Felicia reached out to me in November, actually, of this year, with fantastic news that she has grown the business enough that she needs my help. So I'm excited to be the first person she trusts with her business. Felicia, I think that's a good turning point to tell us on your journey in starting CleanBee Consulting.
Yeah, thank you for that stout introduction. I've been working in leadership and management roles for over 15 years at this point. I started in retail. I shifted gears into hospitality for a bit. And then ultimately, I've landed in the accounting and consulting space where I've been for the last 9 years. And I've just really come to love what I do. If I were to summarize what I do into one sentence, it'd be managing full charge bookkeeping services. So think everything involved with the financial aspect of running a business. We handle all of that for our client. And then we simultaneously strategize with them to achieve whatever it is that their long-term goals are, right? So that could be selling the business maybe. Maybe they want to reach certain revenue targets. Maybe they want to bring their cost of goods sold down or their overhead expenses down. Maybe they want to implement benefits for employees. Maybe they want to strategize on how they can lower their tax bill at the end of the year. The goals per client vary insanely from business to business. And when it comes down to it, I really just love supporting clients to achieve goals. I find it to be very good and very meaningful work. And that's what drives me to wake up with a smile on my face every day and service our clients, right? As far as the actual firm goes and starting CleanBee Consulting, we're not going to unpack all of the trauma in episode
that's
one.
I would say that's going to be later on, maybe episodes down the road.
But, certain circumstances in the spring of 2024 led me to leave a very cushy job, very well-established accounting firm that offered very fantastic benefits to give it the good old entrepreneurial try, right? So, in spring of 2024, CleanBee Consulting was really just a DBA, a doing business as, and it was just a forward-facing name that I was calling freelance work. I wasn't even calling it like a self-employment or an entrepreneurship type role. It was strictly just freelance work for the beginning. And that was probably like the first 3 months of the company's existence was kind of in that realm. But it took off in a really insane way in the fall of 2024. And that's when I realized, oh shit, this is no longer a freelance gig. I actually grew a firm, made a baby kind of a thing. And now I have to maintain all of this. And I was still meeting and connecting with a lot of really amazing clients that were doing really incredible work in a lot of different industries. And it all happened in a very organic way. Everything was very authentic. Everything was very genuine. Pumping the brakes in fall didn't feel like the right thing to do. And simultaneously, while all of that was happening is when also the idea of Full Throttle Finance just kind of came to me, to be quite honest. It just clicked in my brain one day, I'm the one that's in charge. I get to pick who we work with. Why not work towards supporting motorsport industry professionals in the United States in whatever capacity that might look like? So there's a lot of ambition at that point for Full Throttle Finance, but I didn't have a whole lot of bandwidth as a solopreneur to handle the firm and to grow Full Throttle Finance into the program that I really wanted to grow it into. And so, as you said, Allison, right, by November, you were on board and you were supporting me on a part-time basis to lessen the load. And you absolutely did, right? You came on full speed ahead. You took over clients and you just got to work. But I think we both kind of recognized that wasn't really super fair to you to have you, juggling both jobs. And two, I think it did Clean Bee Consulting a little bit of disservice, right? Because when I look at how much our revenue grew when we brought you on full time in December versus November, like we were throttling our revenue without having you on board full time, right? And so now that we've got you on board full time, like we've got that throttle just like wide open, and like it's not coming down at this point. So like, this whole process has just been super mind blowing to me. It's not what I thought was going to happen. It's very humbling. I'm building the dream team. I'm working with motorsports. I'm talking about finances in motorsports. We're having an absolute blast doing it. Like, I really couldn't ask for anything more. And it's still, like I said, very, very humbling to me that we're in this position and that we're going to, be making some awesome waves, I think, in the motorsport industry and kind of connecting finances and motorsports and making it a more comfortable topic for people to discuss.
Well, we're not specific into motorsports. Like we really like the idea of working with people that are motorcycle racers or really into motorsports, because that's what we're into. But we work with other clients. You want to tell them a little bit more about the other clients we work with?
Yeah. So as far as business structures go, like we'll really work with any phase that you're in with your business, right? Whether or not you're just starting out and trying to figure out what you need to do to hit the ground running. If you're a sole prop, if you're a single member LLC, an S Corp, an C Corp, partnerships, nonprofits, like you name it, we have at least one client in all of those buckets currently. And then as far as industry goes, I mean, we obviously have our preferences, right? Like we love working with our athletes and we love working with our race teams. Then we love working with professional service providers of, all different kinds of services, but we don't limit ourselves. We just want to work with fun, goal-oriented clients when it comes down to it, right?
People we vibe with, for sure.
Yeah, and I've worked with plenty of business owners in the past that are just like not connected with their business, and it's not fun for either of us. It's literally pushing paper at that point. So I really like to vet that my clients are in their business to win it, because with that connection there, it's a better relationship that we're able to build. And just to give like a little sample, right, of some of the non-motorsport related industries that we've worked with either in the past or that we currently work with right now. We work with clients that do educational support services, real estate investors, merchant processing. We have a couple of property managers, food and beverage businesses, manufacturing, wholesaling, marketing services, copywriting, coaches, e-commerce, like really, like we work with a lot of different industries, right? And I think that that's actually like one of our biggest strengths as a firm, is that we've seen a lot done in a lot of different ways. And so we're able to pick and choose what we've seen work in the best capacities across all these different businesses, structured a bunch of different ways in a bunch of different industries. And we can hand pick what we think is going to work the best for you based on what we've seen with other clients and successes that we've seen and had in the past.
Well, so my thing is when I know she's doing a little circle, she's being cute back there.
She wants pets,
right? She's like,
this is Senna, everyone. Yes, she is named after Ayrton Senna.
She's our podcast puppy.
Yeah, and we have podcast cat, and we have 2 more podcast dogs
that will make their appearance, right?
When they want to. But the fur animals of Full Throttle Finance,
right? So I was gonna ask you, the people we're working with, how do they get started with you? Like when you say, someone who's never worked with a consultant, what are they expecting from Felicia when they start with the Clean Beat Consulting?
I get down to the nitty gritty with you guys, right? I think like one of the things that might come off a little shocking to people at first, right, is that I ask a lot of questions during the consultations, right?
You want a lot of information.
Primarily the obvious one, right? Like I'm going to ask you what your goals are because I want to know where you want to land. But I'm also going to ask you about what you've done in the past, what you're doing right now, where do your processes live, and I'm going to require that you give me access to your financial system, financial reports, bank statements, things like that. And obviously, a lot of that is personal, private, sensitive data. We just met. That's a lot for somebody to ask and ask for you to give visibility into. But we absolutely need that full visibility into your business in order to
Every
provide
tiny
you with
little
a
bit
solid.
helps.
Exactly. We want to provide you with a solid plan of action and a path on how we're going to achieve those milestones. And if you were to think of it in this sense, right? If we ask you for some information and we're not able to get that, you're kind of gatekeeping that information. And that might come up as a potential roadblock later on down the way because we didn't get all the information in the beginning to map out this plan. And so now we've got a hurdle in the middle of implementing this plan that we've got to deal with. So getting all of the information up front is just super helpful for us because it allows us to eliminate the possibility of hurdles coming up as we start implementing your plan of action to get you on the right track to meeting your goals. And I think that, one of the things that sets our consulting firm apart from others is our ability to reverse engineer and really just how great of reverse engineers that we actually are. And I think that stems back all the way, Allison, right, to when you and I work together, right? There's certain ways that our brains were trained to work, and reverse engineering was a very big part of it. So we're really great at it.
We really are.
That's why we ask so many questions to our clients all of the time. It's not to question your judgment, but it's rather we want to understand things from your perspective, and we want to bridge the gap between what you know and what we know, or what you don't know and we know, right? Like we want to bridge that gap. And so we figure out the end target, we work our way backwards through different datas and scenarios, and then we land at what we feel like is the most efficient path forward to achieve your goals. And that's what we do for all of our clients when they come on and they do a consultation session with us.
Well, and I just recently saw, so most of the clients that we have are already established. And so I didn't really get to see what you do in the beginning. And we recently had a couple new people come on, and it was so cool to see Felicia just like, she got, the information from this client, and she just literally, he just did it all up, handed it back to her with a pretty little bow. And she was like, here you go. And that's just what we do in the very beginning. And it was so cool to see you do that. So I can only imagine what it looked like.
Yeah, Allison hears it plenty. Our clients hear it a ton, but I'm a big fan of silver plattering, right? Like I want to give you the pretty little package with the bow on it, right? I want it to just be, let's go. And, I think that's why we are such good fits for our clients, is because they're coming to us with problems and they don't know how to resolve them. And then we're like, it's okay. We understand. Things happen, right? You don't know what you don't know. You did the best that you could with the information that you had at hand when you had it. But now you have us as a resource in your corner. And we're going to fill in those gaps for those things that you don't know.
Is that how you would say you define their success, or, elaborate on the success side of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my brain views success differently from a lot of people. Like, obviously, achieving the goal that we set forth and achieving targets, that's success in its own. But that's just generic success, right? That's the expected success. How I describe success for our clients is it's very similar to how I define success for myself. And it's the ability to be able to take time away from the business and know that the business is not going to fall apart without you being part of it, right? And so whenever we're able to free up space in our clients' like their minds and their brains and alleviate some of those tasks off their plate, that's what I define as successful, right? Because you couldn't do that before we stepped into the picture. You were trying to
stress
run it all.
about everything, and now we're taking away some of that stuff that they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm stressing out about it, and we're taking that away.
And I think I think for a lot of clients, we probably see that happen around the 90-day mark, right? It's not that we've achieved all the targets. We still got a lot of work ahead, usually at that 90-day mark. But I think at the 90-day mark, we've like built that rapport, we've established that credibility, we've started to build that trust that our clients know that they can just forward us something without saying anything. They know that we're going to take care of it. And if we need them, we're going to come back to them with a list of like, this is how we move forward. This is what we need from you. And, hearing that from the clients that I just know I can forward you something and you're going to take care of it, or like a peace of mind. Like I don't have to follow up with you. Like those are things that I think you can't put a value to. And so that is what I define as success, right? Those things that you can't assign a value to, on like being able to give our clients back some space in their brain to do with it whatever they please, right? Maybe they need to sleep, maybe they need a day off, maybe they need a vacation, maybe they need to pay themselves more, maybe they just want to work on biz development. Like if we can take off some of the load on their plates and give them some free space in their brain, to me, I think that that's very successful.
Well, and I think it's cool, just finding out that, when I thought about starting my own businesses, and there's a lot of stressful things when it comes to finances. I don't even know about myself, and it's really nice, like seeing how you work, and I can only imagine how much stress relief it is to start working with somebody where you just like, you hand them your financials and they're like, we got you. So yeah, I think it's really cool. For anyone who's listening who might be on the fence about reaching out about consulting or bookkeeping services, what advice would you give them?
I'm going to say a couple of very short phrases. And I think that, I think we overcomplicate things a lot of the time, right? And sometimes you want to hire a consultant because you think there's some big elaborate plan. But really, a lot of times it's just coming back down to the basics. And so my wise words are, you don't know what you don't know. And the best way to check is to check, right? If you are not you've heard me say this so many times, but if you're not a finance professional, you should not be expected to know everything there is about being a finance
100%.
professional. And the only way you're going to know if you're leaving things on the table is to hire a consultant to audit your business, audit your practices, audit your workflows, and tell you, we can get to that goal. This is how we get to that goal. So simply put, you don't know what you don't know. And the best way to check is to check.
And I love it because it's like, I've always heard the keep it simple, stupid. And this is just like another cute way to say that. And I love that.
Yeah, no, it's the professional way of saying
Right.
keep it real.
Right. Okay. So that's a wrap for today's episode of Full Throttle Finance. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you tuning in and taking the steps to strengthen your financial foundation. If you found today's insights valuable, be sure to subscribe and join us next time as we continue to break down finances with a motorsport twist. If you're interested in booking services with us directly, please visit cleanbeeconsulting.com to schedule your consultation. We'll see you next Friday. Bye.